Hello Adventure Queens, my name is Sarah and I'm going to talk to you today about why I really love swimming outdoors, and hopefully this skill share will be for those of you who have been wanting to give it a go but haven't yet for whatever reason. Hopefully I can inspire you or encourage you to get out there and take the plunge. So I'm definitely not a wild swimming expert at all. There's a lot of things that I don't know, and some of them are very basic. So for example, the other week I went and planned a swim in the Thames near Marlow, and it was a swim that was going to take me from a place called Hurley Lock up to Medmenham. And I thought I'd done quite well. I'd planned out my route. I'd looked at where I was going to get in the water, exit points, roughly knew how long it would take me. And then I chatted to my dad the evening before and mentioned it. And he said that I would be swimming against the flow of the river, which, as he pointed out, would be the difference between swimming for about an hour or swimming for about a day. So yeah, that's fairly basic lack of knowledge. But anyway, yeah, it was good that I spoke to him, and I did the swim anyway, and it was really lovely. So yeah, I guess with outdoor swimming, partly it's really straightforward. You find a body of water, you take your clothes off and you get in, and that's it. But in terms of outdoor swimming compared to indoor swimming, there's just a few things that you need to think about that will help to keep you safe. So for example, the flow, how a river flows and in which direction, but also sort of tides, temperature of the water, which fluctuates a lot. Whether the water's clean or not. I probably wouldn't go swimming in a river after sort of heavy rainfall, because you don't know what's slid in from the bank. But it's pretty, it's quite a straightforward thing, and you don't need a lot of kit or expertise, I don't think. So swimming outdoors is something that's fairly new to me. I have always enjoyed swimming. When I was younger, I did lots of swimming, but always in indoor swimming pools, really, apart from sort of the odd trip to the seaside, which wasn't that often because I live in West Yorkshire, or I grew up in West Yorkshire. I swam indoors. So, and then I carried on doing that and became one of those swimmers who had a great big burst of enthusiasm in January, and then by February pretty much I was bored of sort of swimming up and down a lane. And then a few years ago, a friend of mine said that she had entered the Dart 10K, and she asked me if I wanted to do it with her. And it's an event organised by the Outdoor Swimming Society. It involves swimming a length of the River Dart in Devon. So I signed up, and they don't bill it as a race at all, but you get a timing chip, and I would say that most people who enter it are pretty competitive and they want a good time. And so I entered it in that same sort of frame of mind, and I enjoyed it. And then afterwards I sort of mentioned that I'd done it to a couple of people, and they said, oh, that must have been amazing. What was the scenery like? Did you see any wildlife? It's so beautiful down there. And it suddenly occurred to me that I had not really taken any of that in at all. I just sort of put my head down and front crawled it to the end and got out. And I thought, gosh, I've been in this really beautiful river. I've kind of missed all the scenery. And so I decided after that I wanted to do more outdoor swimming, but do it in a different way. and just really, take in the surroundings. So these days I'm very much a heads up sort of, breaststroke, go as slow as you can swimmer. And I like to think that, the slower you go, the more wildlife will sort of tolerate you being in their stretch of water. So it's quite amazing what you can see sometimes, and I wouldn't have appreciated before that in the Thames, there are so many fish, and there's dragonflies, and you can get up so close to them, and I've seen kingfishers there. So yeah, I really love it. It's so nice. What do you need to go swimming? Well, I quite often go swimming and combine it with a walk, because I live in southeast London, and so there's a fair amount of travel to get to anywhere where you can swim outdoors. So the first thing that I use is this book, The Wild Swimming Walks. It says 28 lake, river and seaside days out by train from London. I also don't drive, so this is useful. And it was written by some of the women who swim at Kenwood Ladies Pond in Hampstead. So I often use that. And what else do I have? Well, in the summer, I just have a swimming costume, obviously. And I tend to wear a hat for my heads up breaststroke, keep the sun off. So that's me in the summer. And then in the winter, I tend to change that hat for a woolly bobble hat, which is quite amazing at keeping you warm. And I've got neoprene gloves, which stop your hands getting too cold. I think they're about, 2 millimeters thickness, and also socks. It's definitely not a fashion parade when you go outdoor swimming. Actually, this one has a hole in it, so I've just noticed. That's probably not very useful. And then, depending on what type of swim I'm doing, if I'm just having a paddle about, I quite often just leave my stuff and go in, come out. But if I'm doing a linear swim, I've got a toe float. So this fits all of my stuff in with a bit of pushing and shoving, and you inflate it and then tow it along behind you, and then you can get out and you've got all your kit. And a towel as well. Haven't brought that down, but I just use a lightweight, microfiber towel. And yeah, that's me. So I hope this has been useful, and I hope that you'll send in some questions, which I will try to answer, and see you on Monday. Thank you.